You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self worth. I'm your host, Shanell Lamere, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Shanell Lamere, and welcome back to What She Grows Through, the podcast where we journey together, growing, healing, and becoming the best versions of ourselves. If you're tuning in with me for the first time, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, that also means so much to me. I get so fulfilled that our connections make a difference because you already know how we do over here. We get real, raw, and reflective. Now, speaking of which, let's just jump right in and let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like your mind is just full? Like too full? You're replaying every scenario, overanalyzing every decision, and constantly stuck in a loop of what ifs. Sis, you are not alone. Today, we're talking about something that has so many of us in a chokehold: overthinking. And more importantly, how we can organize these swirling thoughts and turn them into clarity and action. So, you already know what time it is. Grab your journal, grab your favorite drink. Right now, I'm sipping on a little vanilla caramel tea thing going on that I've been obsessing over lately. Get yourself comfortable because we are about to unpack some together. Okay? All right. Overthinking. Oh my goodness. It's a beast, ain't it? I think about the number of times that I've sat up all night replaying conversations, mine on full blast, wondering if I said the right thing or made the right choice, or worse, I procrastinated and delayed taking action because I just couldn't stop obsessing over every possible outcome. Can you relate? For me, overthinking often shows up in the roles that I play as a mom, for damn sure through Shanell Lamere films, and even at times in my creative moments. Now, as a mom, I overthink decisions about my kids constantly. Like straight mom guilt. Am I doing enough? Am I teaching them the right lessons? Did I traumatize them from my flip out from the other night? Ooh. I mean, I'm being real because you already know how that goes. And as a business owner, I feel like I'm literally running on overdrive, just trying to figure this shit out. I've overanalyzed business decisions, sometimes to the point of paralysis. Emails, client projects, proposals, pulling that all-nighter for editing. That is a never-ending continuum. No one taught me any of this. I'm learning as I'm growing, and oh my goodness, the thoughts go so hard. Just being a creative, the number of times that I've doubted whether my work was good enough, whether it was through the visuals that I'm creating and capturing, drawing, painting. I mean, just too many to count. But let me tell you this. Overthinking, it isn't inherently bad. is actually a sign that we just care deeply, that we want to make the best decisions. The problem is when it becomes a roadblock instead of a tool. Okay, so let me tell y'all something. When they say overthinking is a silent dream killer, they are not lying. A couple months ago, I found myself caught in one of the most mental spirals that had me questioning everything. You know, the kind where you start off contemplating a decision, and before you know it, you've convinced yourself that your entire life is hanging in the balance. Like, yeah, that kind. I had a big project opportunity come up for Shanell Lamere Films. One of those game changing, align with my purpose. This could take things to the next level type of projects. But the logistics, they just they weren't lining up perfectly. There were so many moving parts, so many unknowns, and my mind was just doing the most. Like, I spent weeks going back and forth, running through every possible scenario, trying to predict every obstacle before it even happened. And guess what? That overthinking didn't bring me any closer to a decision. It just had me stressed the hell out. I wasn't sleeping right. My energy, it felt off. And y'all, I kid you not, my period came 2 weeks early. Like, what? Now I'm sitting here thinking, like, ain't I supposed to be ovulating? Is my cycle resetting itself? Why am I spotting? Meanwhile, the real culprit was stress. Instead of making a decision and trusting myself, I was tripping. And it hit me. This is what overthinking is. This keeps me in this limbo. It makes us feel like we're preparing, quote unquote, when really we're just delaying. It steals our peace, our energy, and sometimes even our damn cycles. Finally, after all that back and forth, I said, F it. I took the leap, and you know what? It turned out to be one of the most rewarding projects that I've ever done. And looking back, I realized that all that mental spiraling was unnecessary. I wasted so much time and energy when I could have just trusted myself from the start. But I mean, I get it. It's hard, especially when you're trying to juggle literally everything. Because let's be real, I'm not just out here running Shanell Lamere Films. Like, I'm maintaining this entire new level of my life. A new home, 2 kids, single woman, trying to co-parent effectively, which is a whole job in itself. You already know. Making sure I'm raising respectful, emotionally intelligent, and kind human beings. And then making sure that I'm staying sane while doing all of it. And on top of all of that, everything relies on me. Keeping this business flowing, securing these projects, showing up for myself and for y'all, and making sure that I'm putting in the right kind of work to get to the financial place that I know that I need to be in. And it's a lot. I say this all the time, it's a lot. Let's just take a moment for it just being a lot. For us just acknowledging that it is a lot. And when you have that much responsibility, it's easy to feel like you just can't afford to make the wrong decision. But here's what I've learned. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Oh my goodness. No amount of analyzing could have prepared me for what actually happened once I said yes. No amount of second guessing would have put me further ahead. The only thing that moved me forward was action. And that's what I want you to take from this, beautiful. If you're stuck in your head right now, overthinking something, waiting for the right moment, stressing yourself out, trying to predict the future, let this be your sign to just decide. Trust yourself, move forward. You don't need all the answers, you just need the courage to start. Because the clarity, the peace, the alignment that you're looking for is on the other side of that decision. I promise you, it's time. You gotta move. All right, sis. So now that we've talked about how overthinking can keep us in a chokehold, let's get into solutions. Because we're not about to just stay stuck in that cycle. We're about to shift from thinking to doing, from chaos to clarity. I've learned that overthinking doesn't just go away on its own. It needs management. It needs structure. And over the years, through trial and error, and honestly, just pure necessity, I've gathered some tools that have helped me get my mind all the way right. And if you ever felt overwhelmed by your own thoughts, constantly replaying scenarios, second guessing yourself, or holding on to those little unfinished tasks that pile up in your brain, I feel like these tools are for you. So let's start with my go-to for getting thoughts out of my head and onto paper. Now, you already know, beautiful, if you've been rocking with me up until this point, I'm going to put you deep on journaling. Come on. Journaling has been my saving grace, period. If you don't have a journal yet, get you one of these. Because, sis, let me tell you, there is something powerful about putting your thoughts onto paper. Whenever my mind starts spiraling, I grab my journal and I just write. No structure, no judgment, just letting my thoughts flow. And by the time I'm done, I can see what was taking up space in my mind. It's like decluttering a messy room. You don't realize how much shit you just got piled up in there until you just start sorting through it. And I started journaling heavy when I was transitioning out of my commercial cleaning business to focus on Shanell Lamere films full time. That was one of the scariest moves. Like, I had a million fears, doubts, and what ifs running through my head, but journaling helped me process those emotions instead of just letting them bounce around in my mind. It gave me clarity. So try this. The next time that you feel overwhelmed by a decision or your mind is just racing, take 5 minutes and write down every thought in your head. Don't try to make it neat or organized. Just get it out. And then afterwards, go back and highlight anything that stands out. This will help you see those patterns in your thoughts and figure out what needs action and what's just noise. Journaling, it's been a tool that just, it keeps on giving for real, because the more that you do it, the more that you'll start seeing your own thought patterns. And that awareness alone is powerful. Okay, so now let's talk about the 3-minute rule, sis. This one right here, a game changer. If something takes 3 minutes or less to do, just do it right now. Don't let it sit in your brain. Don't overthink it. Just knock it out. Before I started using this rule, I was notorious for letting tiny tasks pile up. You know what I'm talking about. I reply to that email later. I'll schedule that appointment tomorrow. I'll call them back when I have more time. And before I knew it, all those little things were just weighing me down. Just the other day, I was sitting down to edit a project, but I just couldn't fully focus because I kept thinking about this email that I needed to respond to. And it wasn't even that deep of an email, it was just a quick reply. But of course, I'm getting all in my head. And because I let it sit, it became that mental distraction that kept pulling my attention. So, being intentional, I paused, sent the email, which took all of 2 minutes, and boom, immediate relief. I felt lighter, clearer, present just by that. So, here's how to apply it. 1, identify small tasks, quick replies, deleting emails, writing down reminders. 2, if it takes less than 3 minutes, handle it immediately. Don't let it take up unnecessary space. And then 3, celebrate those small wins, because every little thing that you clear from your mind creates more space for the bigger things that actually matter. Think about it like cleaning up your room as you go. It keeps your space, or even in this case, your mind, from getting cluttered with unnecessary junk. Now let's get into mind mapping. Ooh. This is one of my favorite tools when I feel like my thoughts are all over the place. Mind maps are like visual brain dumps. Instead of just writing down a list, you create a map that lays out all your thoughts and how they connect. When I was brainstorming this very episode, I mind mapped it first. I started with organizing the overthinker in the center of the page, and then branched out into different sections: personal stories, journal prompts, tools, key takeaways. Each section had smaller branches, breaking it down even further. And by the end, I had this clear visual representation of everything that I wanted to cover instead of just a jumbled mess in my head. It felt like I had taken all of this chaos in my mind and given it structure. So here's how you can do this. Start with a central idea, a decision that you need to make, a project, or even just how you're feeling. Write it in the middle of the page. Draw branches for the major thoughts or areas related to that idea. Add smaller branches to break those down into specific tasks, ideas, or concerns. You can use colors, symbols, or drawings if that helps you visualize it better. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, just clear enough that you can see the connections. And I use this for everything beautiful, from planning out my content for Shanell Lamere Films to organizing family responsibilities. It helps me see the bigger picture while also breaking things down into smaller, manageable pieces. So try this. The next time that you feel overwhelmed, grab a blank piece of paper and mind map everything out. Take a step back and look at the connections. And this will help you prioritize what actually matters instead of stressing over everything at once. All right, sis. So I've been coming at you hard. Let's just do a quick recap. Overthinking doesn't have to run your life. The next time that you feel stuck in your head, just try these 3 things. 1, journal it out. Get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Use the 3-minute rule. Clear the small tasks immediately so they don't take up mental space. And 3, mind map your ideas. Visually organize your thoughts so that they feel manageable. And these tools, they're simple, but trust me, they make all the difference because the goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to think strategically so that you can make space for that clarity that you need, the confidence and action. So let me ask you this: which of these tools are you going to start using this week? Take a second, reflect, and then boom, take action. Because you don't need another week of overthinking. You need a moment of clarity. And that, my beautiful, starts right now. Now we really are about to get into it because we can talk all day about the ways overthinking just drains us. But if we don't do something about it, we're just running in place. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to stay stuck. Because let's be real, overthinking is just fear in disguise. Fear of failing, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of looking stupid, fear of wasting time. Oh my goodness, fear of judgment. Ooh, the list goes on. And I know this firsthand because I've lived it. When I made the decision to go all in with Shanell Lamere Films, that wasn't some easy, smooth transition. That was me literally fighting for my life, fighting my own mind every single day. I remember sitting there thinking, like, what if this doesn't work out? What if I regret this later? What if I'm making like the biggest mistake of my life? But you know what I learned? Clarity, it doesn't come from thinking. It comes from that doing. Like my boy, Pastor Mike Todd said, big dog stepping. I'm going to have to link that episode in the show notes so you can know what I'm talking about, Because action, that's the antidote to overthinking. It's what breaks the cycle. And even if we don't have everything figured out, even if the first step feels a little shaky, movement is what gets us unstuck. So beautiful. Let's stop letting fear run a show. Here's a simple framework to help you move from overthinking to action. Identify the root. What are you really afraid of? Overthinking doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's usually tied to a deeper fear. Are you scared of failing? Are you afraid of what people will say? Are you worried that you'll make the wrong choice? Naming the fear takes away some of its power. It's like shining a light in a dark room. Suddenly, it's not as scary as it seemed. Now take a moment to reflect. What's the real fear underneath my overthinking? Break it down. What's one small step that I can take right now? One of the biggest reasons that we overthink is because we look at the whole thing at once. We overwhelm ourselves before we even start. Instead of thinking, I need to figure out my whole life plan right now, ask yourself, what's one small step that I can take today? What's one thing that I can do to create that momentum? Because, as I keep saying, motion leads to clarity. Once you start moving, you'll see what works, what doesn't, and what adjustments need to be made. For me, while I transitioned into filmmaking full time, the first small step wasn't some huge business plan. It was simply reaching out to my network and letting them know that I was available for projects. That one step led to another, which led to another. And before I knew it, I had built something real. So instead of getting stuck in analysis paralysis, just ask yourself, what's one move that I can make today? Sis, let's talk about this fear of failure. A lot of us get stuck in overthinking because we don't want to get it wrong. But the truth is, there is no such thing as wasted experience. Every decision teaches us something. Even if something doesn't go how you planned, it's not a failure, it's feedback. If you take a chance on something and it doesn't work out, guess what? Now you have data. Now you know what not to do next time. Now you can pivot, you can adjust, and just come back so much stronger. One thing that I always remind myself is I'd rather try and learn than sit in the same place wondering what if. So here's the mindset shift. What if failure wasn't something to avoid, but something to embrace? Every mistake, every misstep, every unexpected turn, I feel like it's all part of the process. So we've been getting deep. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm giving it to you heavy. I'm giving it to you real. Now let's get practical. If you've been feeling stuck in your own mind, grab your journal and reflect on these questions. 1. What's one recurring thought or worry that's been taking up mental space? What's the worst case scenario and how likely is it to actually happen? What's one small action that I can take today to address this thought or worry? Now take your time with these. Sometimes just putting it on the paper is enough to bring that clarity. Because here's the thing, beautiful. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to take one step and then another and then another. Overthinking will try to keep you in the same place, but action is what moves you forward. So what's your next step? Go ahead and take it. I promise you, clarity is on the other side. All right, beautiful. So we spent this episode unpacking the weight of overthinking, learning how to clear our mental clutter, and finding ways to take action instead of staying stuck in analysis paralysis. But before we close out, I need you to hear this. The version of you that you've been dreaming about, the woman that you know that you're meant to be, she is not some distant, unreachable version of you. She's already inside you, waiting for you to meet her, waiting for you to trust her. I know this because I felt the same thing. There were moments when I thought, I just need to be more disciplined, more confident, more experienced. Then I'll be ready. The moment that you decide to claim that version of yourself, she's already yours. She doesn't just show up when everything is perfect. She emerges when you start showing up as her right now in the midst of everything. So instead of just visualizing her, let's do something different this time. Let's act as her today. Let's be her now. What's the one thing that she does that you can start doing today? Maybe she wakes up early to prioritize herself. Maybe she sets clear boundaries. Maybe she speaks up instead of shrinking. Whatever it is, embody that energy now. What's one thing that you're releasing to make space for her? It could be self-doubt, procrastination, fear of judgment. Write it down and let that ish go. Now write a message to yourself from your future self. Let her tell you what she's proud of you for. Let her remind you that everything that you're working towards is already yours. Because sis, you don't step into her by waiting. You step into her by deciding. You don't become her by accident. You become her by intention. Like, I'm getting hyped just thinking about that. Before we wrap this episode up, I have something special for you. Since this is the 50th episode, I wanted to do something meaningful. Something that not only celebrates this milestone, but equips you with tools to help you continue this journey of clarity, action, and becoming. So I created a digital product just for you, the Organizing the Overthinking Journal Guide, a downloadable workbook with journal prompts, reflection exercises, and action steps to help you clear your mind and take decisive action. Your support doesn't just help me continue creating these episodes, but it helps you continue to stay consistent on this journey too. So if this episode resonated with you and you're ready to take the next step, I'll link everything in the show notes so you can grab your copy, because sis, we are growing through this together. 50 episodes, beautiful. I can't say it enough. I'm so grateful for you, for every listen, every message, every moment that you spent here growing with me. And as we close this episode, I want you to hold on to this. You are not waiting to become her. You are not wishing to become her. You are already her. One step, one decision, one moment at a time. And I just want to say thank you for being here, for sharing this space, for growing alongside me. This journey is not meant to be done alone, and I'm so grateful to be on it with you. If this episode resonated with you, let me know. Share it with another woman who needs this reminder. And if you're ready to take this work even deeper, grab the Organizing the Overthinker Journal Guide. Because your story, your growth, your becoming, it all matters. Until next time, beautiful, keep choosing yourself, keep taking those big dog steps, and keep growing through it, because what? We got this.